There you go. All right, please. Just let everybody know. Why? All right, let me check my other chats. Oh, hey, how's it going? Like I said, I'm just going to wait for a few more people. Like usual, I'm going to wait for a few more people to tune in. So I've only been going for about a minute now. Let me see. I need to find that other paranormal chat that I'm in to let them know. Because they're good people. Where is it? Here we go. No. Oh, no. There we go. Check out a. Oh, oops. All right, let me just get a few things set up here. And let me just do one thing, and then I should be ready to go. All right, there we go. I'm probably going to start at, let me see. I'm probably going to start at the 5-minute mark. All right, I just sent out all the notifications out. And hey, how are you guys doing today? All right, so I am probably going to start here in about 2 minutes at the 2-minute, at the not 2-minute mark, it's already 3 minutes, at the 5-minute mark. So for the people that are here, that I just added a couple things to my background right now. The camera really does not like the Bigfoot right here. It's really, really, there's a glare. The camera doesn't like that. Then I also added a Fang Wong picture right here. I really need to get a better background for this. I really want to try to move out of here in the next year or so. That's my goal at least. But yeah. So let me see. I'm gonna start 1 more minute. Oh wow, YouTube on my phone is weird. I don't like the new YouTube update for the phones. But yeah, I'm gonna start here in a minute. I know I look young. I'm actually really 20. I'm gonna be 21 in August, on August 2nd. So then I can actually legally drink. I'm just kidding. I've actually never drunk before. But these stools. All right, so it is the 5 minute mark. So I'm gonna start right now. Hold on, I actually forgot to put my little Bigfoot necklace on that I made that I try to wear every stream. I forgot it last week. But there we go. All right, guys. Welcome to Cryptocast, your source for all things crypto related, paranormal, and unknown. I'm your host, Parker, and tonight we're going to be talking about water monsters. So, water monsters, like any cryptid that's found in water, so pretty much like the Japanese kappa, the Loch Ness monster, Champ, the lake monster of Lake Champlain in the Great Lakes, the Dobarchu, which is an Irish like otter, which is an Irish like no, that doesn't make sense. It's an otter like Irish cryptid, and all the stuff that comes with that. So the lines are open. So if you see that, so you see that phone number in the title, you can call that number. I will try to answer as many as I can, and then I will also be interacting with the live chat throughout the night. So I'm just going to be talking about water water monsters, water cryptids, all that fun stuff. So I try to have a theme at least every week. This is my third stream. So the first week was that I did this, it was just open discussion. The second week, which was last week, was cryptids and mythology. And this week is water monsters. I don't know what I'll do for next week, so I'm always taking suggestions for that. So that is going to be all up to you guys, and it's going to be fun. So yeah, I'm going to be taking in live callers, interacting with the live chat throughout the night. So feel free to call in, interact in the chat, and I'll be responding to you guys throughout the night. So, dragons. Yes, I could do a live stream all about dragons. I did say I would do that in the future, and I will. That could maybe even be next week's. So, I'm going to start. Hey, thank you, person who just tuned in, by the way. Hey, how's it going, Seth? How are you tonight? And thank you, other person who just tuned in as well. So this is good. I like having a lot of people start join in the beginning because last week everybody joined towards the end when I was about to sign off. So this is good. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the lesser known, like a few of the more known ones actually, before I get into the lesser known ones. So everybody knows the Loch Ness monster and everything, and that is supposedly a living plesiosaur living in the Loch Ness in Scotland. They actually NOAA, I think the group is called, the I don't know what it stands for, but they're like the ocean kind of people that like monitor the oceans and all the life in there. They did some tests, sent some cameras down deep into Loch Ness, and they actually found like a plesiosaur, kind of like it's blurry because it's dark down there and it moved a lot, but which is the case with most cryptids and everything. But they got a plesiosaur silhouette and a shape kind of like on their camera, and I think you can look that up on the online. But it was a special on Monster Quest too, where they did that, and it was actually really cool because I mean, there is something living in Loch Ness, whether it actually be a plesiosaur or a sturgeon or something completely different, we don't know, but there definitely is something in there. And Nessie, she also has so many like cousins from around the world. She has Champ, which is the monster down in Lake Champlain in the States, and that is also described as a plesiosaur like cryptid that's living in one of the Great Lakes here. There is also Mussy, which is lives in Muskrat Lake in Ontario, Canada. Yes, National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Umbreon Ranger. So there's also Mussy that lives in Muskrat Lake in Ontario, Canada. That is also described as a plesiosaur, and sometimes it's even depicted as a sturgeon, a walrus for some reason. I don't know why it's depicted as a walrus. And it is also depicted as a plesiosaur, but it has 3 eyes. So nobody really truly knows what it is, but I'm hoping that one day we'll be able to find out what it is. Back in 1990, a tourist group actually offered 1 million Canadian dollars. I don't know how much that is in American money or other money around the world, but I'm still assuming it's a lot for its capture. but of course they never captured it alive. They never caught it dead. It's still out there somewhere allegedly. So, like I said, I'm still hoping one day that we catch it. There's so many festivals around the world like celebrating monsters, all these water monsters. There is a Manipogo festival, which is like a Leopleurodon kind of mosasaur like creature living in Canada as well. There's a festival for that, like a week long festival. It's like a huge thing down there. Loch Ness Monster is always really good too. They have festivals for Nessie and all that stuff. And there was actually a movie that was made that was inspired by Nessie. It was called Water Horse. The acting wasn't too great. The movie and special effects were pretty good, and the concept was really good. So I would recommend checking out the movie Water Horse. It's really good. Um, and then we also have the Kappa. So the Kappa is, yes, Water Horse. You know what I'm talking about, Umbreon Ranger. It's a good movie. So another cryptid that's more well known, well, to most people, it's the Kappa. Now the Kappa is a yokai, which if you don't know what that is, it's a Japanese spirit. Yokai means I can't even talk tonight. I got a little bit ahead of myself. I'm sorry. So a yokai is either a Japanese cryptid, demon, or spirit. This one's kind of a mix of demon and cryptid. And it's described as like a turtle. It has a shell and everything. It has a little divot on its head that you can put water, that has water in it. Anna Marie obviously knows definitely what I'm talking about right there. She knows what I'm talking about. So it has a little bit of water on its head. And it supposedly like snatches children, pulls them into the water, and eats them. And you can actually tame a cryptid. Yeah, you can tame any cryptid. No, you can tame a kappa by making it bow and spill the water in its head. If you can do that, I keep skipping that around. Why do I keep interchanging kappa and cryptid? I guess because they both start with ka. But you ate fajitas. How were your fajitas? But you can tame a kappa just by making it bow, and it'll pretty much be your servant for as long as you live. And like Umbreon Ranger said, it is what the Pokemon Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo are based off of. They're based off of kappas because Lombre looks more like a monkey and everything, but Vinvi. But the kappa is always something really cool to talk about, and it was featured it was featured in a couple shows. It was actually featured in the episode. I don't know if you guys remember the show or have actually seen it. It's that show about Arthur. He's the aardvark kid with the ears and the glasses, and he always wears yellow for some reason, which yellow is too much of a happy color. I'm not really a big fan of yellow. I'm more of a black and orange guy myself because I like Halloween. But the Kappa was actually featured in an Arthur episode where it was like one of because Sue Ellen was talking about they kept hearing noises in the woods, and Sue Ellen obviously traveling around these places, she's less like, what if it's a kappa? And everyone's like, what the heck's a kappa? And she explains what it is, and she said the only way to beat it is to make it bow. And everybody kind of has like a little imagination thing, and Buster and a Kappa jumps out of the river, and Buster tricks it to bow, and he's like, "Hey, look, a $5 bill!" And the Kappa just kind of bends over, and all the water comes out, and it gets stuck, and which is also kind of commonly true in some myths. If the water spills out of the Kappa's head, it gets stuck, and it can't move until water gets poured back into into the little divot in its head. So I thought that was really cool to have that in there. um, Now let me see what else we can move on to talk about. What about I'm going to talk about the Awizatl, since not a lot of people know what that is. The Awizatl, it's an Aztec cryptid from Aztec lore, Aztec mythology, Mexico kind of area and everything. So what the Awizatl is, it's sort of like a weasel looking thing or an otter. It lives in the water. It has a tail. It has a long tail with a human hand on the end of its tail, so it can kind of grab things. And sounds like yaoi, gay. I mean, There probably is some. Umbreon Ranger, I dare you to look that up later and send me what you find. So if you can find Aoizotl hentai, I don't know. I might post it on the wall in the back. Probably not though. But so, like I said, it has a hand on the end of its long tail, and it goes out in the middle of the pond. Hey, Umbreon Ranger, Seth is right. Rule 34. You got to look it up now, because if it exists, there is porn of it. You of all people know this rule, Umbreon Ranger. I did break Rule 34 one day, but that is a whole nother story. So, what the Aoizotl is, like I said, it has a hand with a tail. It has a tail with a hand, and it kind of hides out in the middle of the pond or the lake or wherever there's water. It sticks its human hand up and it starts crying like a baby. So all these people, so whoever hears it, they're like, "Oh no, a baby's drowning! I got to go in and save it." They go in there. The Aoizotl pulls them under, and it eats the crunchy parts of the human, which is kind of weird. So if you don't know what those are, it eats the fingernails, it eats the toenails, eats the eyeballs, and it even eats the people's teeth, which is really weird. So it just eats all the crunchy parts of the human. Sometimes they live, sometimes they die, and it's just a really creepy cryptid, but I do love it. It's one of my favorites. It's on my top 10 list actually because it's just so unusual and so obscure that I love it. I may have some water cryptids on the back over here. Actually, no, I do not. But okay, Anna Marie, what you just said, tentacles are popular. That actually kind of leads me into my next cryptid that nobody really knows about. There's a cryptid that lives in a lake in Oklahoma, and it's called the Oklahoma octopus, which for a freshwater lake is really weird because yeah, they don't octopus or octopi, they all live in salt water. This one lives in fresh water and it's known to be aggressive and pull people under and drown them. I forgot what lake it lives in exactly, but there is a but I do but somebody from my cryptid chat on Kick says that they live well no they don't live near, they swam in that lake before. So I'm glad they're okay and everything, but that would be kind of cool to actually find the octopus living in the lake in Oklahoma. And back in the day too, there was this one explorer known I forgot his first name, but his last name was Stellar. He found all these things called like the Stellar Sea Cow, Stellar Sea Eagle, all these things named after him. But there was one thing that he saw that got away. It was called the Stellar Sea Ape. Now the Stellar Sea Ape it's kind of like it was like a seal like cryptid. It swam up on the side of the ship, kind of like juggling things a little bit. It looks so unusual. They shot at it, but after it heard the shots, it got away and swam away and never came back. However, people think that the Stellar Sea Ape is actually it was like a fur seal with mange or something because it looks or like a facial deformity because it looked so strange and so obscure. People had no idea what it was, and it hasn't been reported since. Lake Thunderbird, Lake Oolaga, and Lake Ten Killer. I haven't heard of those lakes. Let me take a look a minute just to see. I haven't heard of those lakes before. Oh, these are the lakes that could have the Oklahoma octopus in it. Okay, these are all Oklahoma lakes. Octopus lake. Yeah, it lives in Lake Oolaga. At least that's what the wiki says. I forgot what lake it lived in, but there was even a Lost Tapes episode. If you guys remember the show Lost Tapes, it they had an episode featuring the um, Oklahoma octopus, and it had a bunch of teenagers swimming there. Like it was like their last night in college. I mean, Lost Tapes was fake. I mean, it was kind of bad at times, but it was still a good show. The info was really good at least, and it pretty much killed all of the teenagers off and everything. And then they obviously found their lost tape, but it was a good, but it was still a good show when it had its run. And then we have Manipogo. I forgot what lake Manipogo lives in, so I will just take a look at this really quickly. Since there's just so much, I don't even. There's so many lake cryptids, it's hard to keep track of them all. It lives in so Manipogo lives in Lake Manitoba. It's sort of described as like a Leopleurodon or a mosasaur. It's just sort of like a big, sort of like marine dinosaur like cryptid. And like I said, there are festivals like every week. Like not every week. I wish it was every week. I would definitely try to go to one if I could. But there are festivals like once a year. Like it's usually at the beginning of March that are celebrating this cryptid and everything. And I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there is some like Native American lore that goes behind most of these lake creatures. So usually, if there is some Native American lore, to me, that personally gives it a little more backing. But we also have, actually, I do kind of have maybe a little water creature behind me on here. It is the Snollygoster up here, and what the Snollygoster is, it's not to be confused with the Snallygaster, which is more like a dragon thing. But the Snollygoster, it's like a crocodile like cryptid that's found in Florida in the Everglades. And it's usually just pretty territorial and aggressive. Um, it has a huge like spike on its back. It has like a propeller like tail that helps it move through the water. And I forgot how big exactly it's supposed to be, but it is supposed to be really, really big. And always, guys, too, don't forget, just to put it out there, I have the lines are open, so you can always call in anytime you like, and we can discuss some cryptids if you want to be featured on the channel. And then we have mermaids too. Now mermaids I'm kind of counting in here too because they they've been around in mythology for a while now. And they became more famous when Christopher Columbus said he discovered them, but Christopher Columbus did a lot of things, so I really don't like Christopher Columbus that much because he's kind of a dick. But he did a lot of things. He did some good things. He did some really horrible things, and mermaids are scary as fuck. The one thing that I didn't like though was Animal Planet had a mermaids documentary, and I was like 12 when it came out, and I believed it was real at the time until I looked back at it. My one friend said, "Dude, you know that was fake, right?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And I looked back at it, and it said all the people in that thing were just actors, and I'm just like, "Oh, come on!" I actually fell for that, but it would be really cool if that was real. But it was kind of sad. I was kind of depressed for a while when I found out it was fake. Like I remember like my one friend, he was on vacation in Germany, and like when he came back, he's like, "So did anything happen while I was gone?" I'm just like, "Oh yeah, dude, mermaids were confirmed to be a true species. I saw the Animal Planet documentary and everything." Then I found out it was fake, and I was thoroughly disappointed. Not with just that, but with myself. But mermaids have been going back for ages though, and they're described in somewhat different ways too. Sometimes they're described as having the top half of a beautiful woman and the bottom half of a fish. Sometimes they have the bottom half of a fish and they have a human top, and sometimes they're described as with that human top, they're described as having like some fish elements in there, kind of like little ear spikes, like sometimes they're depicted. It depends on which one you're looking for, which one's hot. Seth, I don't know what kind of stuff you're into, but I mean, if you like fish, I mean, hey, that's all good by me. No judgment on this channel. but some of them were depicted like with scales on their face and everything. There's for all of you guys who've seen Harry Potter, the Goblet of Fire, the Lake Challenge, there were some mermaids swimming in that lake. They were kind of more fish-like than human-like, and it was, and they're still really cool in my opinion. So, I mean, I could probably talk all day about mermaids. I'm just checking the lines really quick. All right, nobody called in yet. All right. Let me see. Let me just take a look at something. Oh, that's right. There's also I'm kind of well, this is going off topic a little bit, but we also have the hippocampus because it's still a water creature, but it's also a mythological creature. But we talked about mythological last week, so I'm still going to kind of talk about it today. But the hippocampus is literally a seahorse. It has the bottom half of a fish, the upper half of a horse, and they allegedly pulled Poseidon's chariot across the sea with him and his water nymphs. So so that's really cool. I really do wonder where the idea for that came from. My best guess, I have a couple guesses. One is that it could be like people are like, oh yeah, there's a sea horse, and the Greeks back in the day are like, oh yeah, we can make this like a legit sea horse. Or if they actually saw something like a seal or something and decided to make it an actual like mythological creature. I'm not entirely sure, but it's always kind of cool to just kind of wonder where people get these ideas from. And I'm kind of going to go off on another little topic here too. There are some water dragons, like marine dragons. They have flippers instead of claws, and they have spikes. And actually have a live caller coming in, my first live caller on the show. So I'm going to answer this. Hello, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. How are you?
Hey, hold on.
How are you?
So there's also the Ophiotaurus, which is body of a bull, and then serpent for the other half for Greek mythology.
The Ophiotaurus. I think I've heard of that. Let me just look it up really quick, just to. Okay.
It's Ophio Taurus.
Here we go. Let me see. Oh yeah, there is that. I forgot about that. Meaning the Ophiotaurus, meaning serpent bull, was an ancient monster that could bring down the gods if it was slain and its entrails burnt. It was a half cow, half serpent creature. It was nicknamed Bessie by Percy Jackson, who initially assumed it was female. That's actually pretty cool. I did not know about that one. I mean, I've seen pictures of it. I just didn't know it was a water creature, so that's actually pretty cool.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for calling in and bringing that up.
Yep.
All right. You have a good day. Ooh. Well, thank you for calling into the show. I completely forgot about the Ophiotaurus. I did not know about that one. I mean, I knew it existed. I just didn't know the name of it, and I didn't know it was a water creature. But thank you for bringing this up. That was actually a really good call. That was my first call of the streams that I've had at all. So thank you for that. That was actually great. And for anybody else, too, the lines are open. Feel free to call in. You can bring up a cryptid. We can talk about cryptids. You can do whatever you want if you want to be featured on the show. And that was actually my friend Umbreon Ranger who just called in. So shout out to her in the chat. And and also while I'm looking up the Ophiotaurus, I saw something else too that I also forgot to mention too. We have Scylla and Charybdis. Scylla was they were both beautiful women, but then they got punished by the gods for something. I forgot exactly what they did, but Scylla has the heads of she's has a human body, and she has huge tentacles that have either heads of dogs or heads of snakes on them, and she's actually really huge. She uses those heads to pick out people off the ship if they sail by her, and then her partner Charybdis, she is like a little squid kraken kind of thing, creates a giant whirlpool, So you can either choose Scylla or Charybdis. There's actually a famous saying that like that's sort of like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, but it's either but for this it's like I'm either stuck between Scylla or Charybdis, which means like you're in two like undesirable situations that you don't want to be in. So we also have the Kraken, which shows up in a lot of famous mythology and everything. And it shows up in Norse, it shows up in Greek, it shows up like everywhere. So there are a few variations of the Kraken. I talked about this last week too, but it is a water monster, so I'm bringing up again. Sometimes it is depicted as the giant squid, like a huge squid with spikes on its head, huge tentacles. Sometimes it made like a little fake island out of dirt where the ships could come and dock, and then when they got on there, it pulled them down under the sea so they can be devoured. And then like in Clash of the Titans, and even the popular kids game Wizard 101, it's depicted more like a humanoid creature with like gills, sort of like a fish ape kind of hybrid like head, arms and legs, and usually has a tail with fins on it. And there's just a lot of depictions of it, but I mean, it's still talking about the same cryptid. You have to pass them to get to the Sea of Monsters. Is that in the Percy Jackson books? Because I still haven't read those yet. And my granny in a bathing suit is a rather scary water monster. Yeah, I'll, that usually always is the case. Seeing old women in bathing suits on the beach, not a fun time. But people do believe that humans originally, or all life originally, came from the sea. So people are still trying to find that missing link that could that could bring humans. Oh God, Two Piece. No, we don't know that is. Oh God, Two Piece bathing suits. But so people are still trying to find the missing link that connects humans to sea creatures because there is something. Because if you can see, like if you look at your hand right now, there's like a little bit of webbing in between your fingers right here, which sort of suggests that people and sometimes and even some dogs have them to help them move through water. That all it sort of just shows that people think like all life evolved from some ocean creature back in the day. Old man banana boats. Oh no, old man banana boats. Oh god. This is why I love you guys. This is why I love interacting with the chat. The best stuff always happens. And we also have, I talked about, don't forget how humans have large nasal cavities and our brains run on omega 3s. That is true because I think the nasal cavity was like sort of like how we can hold air in there so we could usually breathe when we're underwater back in the day or hold our breath for a long time. And now humans really aren't adapted to do that unless they keep practicing and practicing and holding their breath underwater for a long time. And omega 3s, that's like fish oil, which is supposed to be really good for you. So, I mean, we do probably have some connection to sea life in the past and all that fun stuff. So, no webbing to be found here. Sometimes it's hard to see. It's not a lot. It's just usually just like a little bit, which is like right here. So it's kind of hard to find, but once you see it, it's kind of easy to notice. I mean, I don't know if not everyone has it or if some people have it and some don't. So there's so I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, it's more prominent between the thumb and the finger, like right here. You can see that webbing right there. So that could have been like how he could swim through the water easier, like when we were evolving and stuff. And something else I wanted to bring up too. I did talk about this a little last week too, but since it's water monsters, I'm going to talk about it again because I can. We also have Moby Dick. Moby Dick, in some people's minds, is considered a monster and a cryptid, so I'm keeping it in here. It Moby Dick was based off of a real white sperm whale named Mocha Dick that pretty much did the exact same things as Moby Dick did in the books. So I didn't know that at first, but when I found it out a few years ago, I thought that was actually really, really cool. We also have the Akorikomi is the Akorikomi, it's sort of the Japanese kraken, which is really cool. So what this is it's a giant, instead of it being a giant squid, it's a giant octopus, and it's known to take down ships, take down people, and it's just really cool. And we also have the Beast of Busco. Yeah, it's the Beast of Busco. It is, most people think, like when people say like the Beast of, people mostly think of the Beast of Jevudan, the Beast of Bodmin Moor, all these different creatures like that are more like feline or canine in nature and everything. But the Beast of Busco is actually a giant turtle that lives in a lake, and people think it's like a giant snapping turtle or just a giant turtle in general. But either way, it's been pretty famous around the world, and people do think it's real because, I mean, a giant turtle. I really do think, and I really do hope that that's real because who doesn't want to see a giant turtle? I mean, really. Let me see. Also, the Umbreon Ranger wants a giant turtle. Oh, that's a cute turtle emoji. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Kelpies. I knew I was forgetting something because last week I forgot to talk about one thing, and then I was like so mad at myself. If I forgot these, I would have been so mad at myself if I forgot talking about Kelpies and Selkies and Encantados. So let's start off with Kelpies. Also, if you guys know any cryptids too that you want me to talk about that I haven't talked about in this video, please suggest them. Please suggest them in the top chat over to the right, so or down below if you're watching on mobile, so you guys can, so I can talk about them in this video. So the Kelpie is a water horse when it's on land, but most of the time when it's in water, it's described as like a woman who's green and has seaweed in her hair, right? So the Kelpie's on land and it appears as a horse, and it's usually really nice, tries to get people to ride it. You either touch it or you hop on its back. Its skin becomes super adhesive, like really sticky. You can't get off of it. And then it pulls you down into the water, drowns you, and then devours you. And we have its other counterpart that's a little more nice. It is called the Selkie, and what that is, it's a seal that can come up on land, take off its seal pelt, and it becomes human on land. And if somebody finds a Selkie seal pelt, they can take it and pretty much they'll do whatever the person wants. Most people, since Selkies turn to beautiful women when they take their skin off, fishermen take them and hide them, and so they can't return to the sea. But the Selkies will always have the opportunity to return to the sea. And if the Selkie finds its seal pelt and it chooses to, it can go into the sea and never return to its family ever, and never return to, and choose not to return to the man who stole its seal pelt or its children ever again. And we also have the Encantados, which are pretty much like the same thing as Selkies, except it's a dolphin. And they love to come up on land and dance and everything. And they love music. And Indrik Boreal, what kind of pagan stuff, or do you mean pagan stuff in general, or a creature called pagan? And Wallapillow, I never heard of that one. Um, Anna Marie. I'm gonna look this one up really quick. Wallow Hill. Ooh, let me see. Ooh, this thing's creepy, Anna Marie. You picked the creepy one. I like you. They're from Inuit mythology, so more like the Antarctic and Alaskan region. They have scrawny, bumpy skin, and they smell like sulfur. They're known as child snakes. They jump out of water and grab children. They're pretty much the water version of the boogeyman in Inuit mythology. But no, these things are really creepy. You picked the really creepy one, Anna Marie. I like you. And for those who don't know what it is, that's that thing. Those are really creepy. I love it. Thank you for suggesting that one. I'm probably gonna put that one on my Tumblr page later tomorrow as my cryptid, maybe. I'll have to keep this tab open. Thank you so much, Anne Marie. I love that. You're awesome. And the kick user pagan, um, I haven't talked to him in a while, so I don't know. But I would love to. But if you guys have any more cryptid suggestions, I would love to hear that because there I did have one in mind. My mind just has a blank right now. I just forgot which one I was going to talk about. But also a word of advice, and I know Umbreon Ranger can agree with me on this too. A lot of these cryptids sometimes are just animals that shouldn't be where they should be. Like you release a goldfish into like a lake, it can grow huge if it lives that long. It can they can get like super huge goldfish, other creatures. So just don't. So if you have a pet that you don't want to take care of anymore, just don't release it into the wild, guys. Give it to somebody that you know will take care of it. Donate it to like a no-kill animal shelter. Give it to a friend or family member who's been wanting a pet for a while but hasn't had one. Don't just release them into the wild because then it'll become an invasive species like monitor lizards and goldfish and all these other creatures that shouldn't be where they should be, and it just messes up the whole ecosystem. Koi and carp, yeah, koi and carp especially, those things get huge. So, like I said before, if you guys have a pet that you don't want, don't just release it in the wild. Give it to a family member or a friend or a no-kill animal shelter or somebody who you know will take good care of it. Just don't release it in the wild because that'll just mess up like all the population and everything around it. So just keep nature in mind, guys. A Jenglot? Anna Marie, you keep suggesting ones that I've never heard of before. Jenglot, is it kind of like Jenga? I do want to play Jenga. Ooh, you always pick the creepy ones, Anne Marie. I really like you now. It is a beauty, just like you, but like you in a good way. Not this one's creepy. I like you, Anna Marie. You're awesome. So it is said to be found in Indonesia. They have been found by psychics after they perform a supernatural ceremony. They're found in any terrain from underground on a wrecked house. Some people keep janglots, apparently. There have been several specimens of them. apparently you can become a Janglot. I don't know if I would want to live that, if I would want to be one of those. But dang, you picked the ones that I've never heard of, Anna Marie. There we go. There's what it looks like. Look at that thing. Dang. Anna Marie, you pick all the ones that I've never heard of before. Thank you. That is actually really cool. I will send you the picture over either Skype or text or Kick on Breon Ranger. Let me see. I know I had a few more lake monsters in mind. My mind is just having a huge blank right now. So I'm sorry if I'm looking some of these up, but oh, okay, there we go. These are actually three that I completely forgot about. So I'm going to kind of go in reverse order. I'm going to talk about the. Hi, Kylie. How are you doing? Kylie or Kaylee? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I think it's Kylie. How are you doing today, Kylie? Thank you for tuning into the show. um, I want to talk about the bunyip. So the bunyip is a creature. It's either described as Kylie. Kylie. I think I said it right. But the bunyip is an Australian creature. All the scariest things live in Australia, guys. Just so you know, heads up. But Australia has this creature called the bunyip, and the bunyip, it's sort of a mix of all these animals. It's a mix of like a walrus. It has it has the walrus-like tusks. It's a mix of everything, and it's really cool. Sometimes it has a duck bill. Sometimes it has like a bear body, like a crocodile like snout, walrus tusks, and it's known to be very aggressive and attack people. But it is a really cool creature, even though it is in Australia. Still, I do want to go to Australia, but I'm not taking my chances. But that is the bunyip, and you can see right there in that drawing, it's eating a guy. So that's always fun. And then Umbreon Ranger. I know this one is one of your favorites. um, Kylie, your message got retracted, so I cannot see what you said. But um, the Umbreon Ranger, this is one of your favorites, so get ready for this one. The Mochilium membe. It's sort of a sauropod dinosaur found living in the Amazon River basin, and it's known to, and like I said, it's supposed to be a sauropod dinosaur. So like one of those, if you don't know what a sauropod dinosaur is, it's one of those ones with like the super super long neck. So keep in mind Littlefoot from the Land Before Time. So one of those kinds of dinosaurs, and it's supposed to fight hippos for territory, and it's and for being a sauropod dinosaur, which are normally peaceful, this one's supposed to be really aggressive for some reason, and I do not know why, but it is very territorial, and all the Aborigines have talked about this creature and how powerful it is and not to go near it. And yeah, Land Before Time, I loved that. I loved those movies when I was a kid. I still love them. I haven't seen them in a while. Those might have to go on my watch list. I don't know. Also, we have the occasional. Let me see for Lake Monster. We also have the occasional Jason Voorhees living in the lake, just as a joke there. And then I'm just checking to where this one lives, just just so I can get my facts right. Okay, in Lake Okanagan, there is a creature known as Ogopogo, and it is described as another plesiosaur or serpent-like creature, sort of like Nessie in a way. It's like one of Nessie's cousins, but it's really famous there. They even have this really cool statue of it out by the lake. If you guys can see that. But yeah, I really kind of want to go. I mean, normally I would want to go in the water myself and explore these and explore the lakes to try to find these myself, but sadly, I cannot swim. So that is kind of a letdown. I would if I could. I would go look for these if I could. But we also have another cryptid called the Cadborosaurus. It is it has the body like a plesiosaur and it has like the head of a horse. Gasp. Gasp what? Gasp to what? But let me see. But yeah, there's a creature known as a Cadborosaurus. It has the body of like a plesiosaur and the head of a horse, and a carcass of one allegedly washed up back like way back, like it was either early 90s or late 80s. And then they did some tests on it, and it turned out to be a basking shark carcass. So, I mean, the carcasses are kind of different though too, because it literally could be anything that's decomposed. We also have Trunco, which is really cool. Trunco sort of described it's like a white whale creature with like the head of an elephant, except without the ears. It has a huge trunk, and it's been seen fighting killer whales out in the water, and it's actually really adorable. And it's one of my favorites too. That one's on my top 10 cryptid list as well. I might do a video just talking about my top 10 cryptid lists one day, just like not a live stream, just a little fun video, like Parker's top 10 cryptids or something like that. I don't know. But there's also that. In Antarctica, we have a creature known as Ninjin, which is a what app is draining my battery? I don't know what that was. I thought I got a call. I don't know what that is. Pearl and Sanus. But we also have the Ninjin, which is it was found in Antarctica by a Japanese whaling expedition, and it has like a humanoid body. Sometimes it comes up on land, and I'm sorry if you heard that. That was the cuckoo clock in the other room going off. But a ninja is, like I said, it's usually white to blend in with like the snow in Antarctica, and it has humanoid features. Sometimes it's depicted without arms. It just has legs. Sometimes it's with arms and legs. It can be in the water and out of the water, and it's really creepy. If you see a picture of one, if you go type in Ninjin on Google Images, you will get the creepiest thing. If you want to be spooked tonight, look that up. Oh, okay, it's that thing again. Okay, okay, okay. Just a different spelling. Just I'm like, what the heck is that thing? But yeah, so I'm hoping though in a few like in about a year or something. I'm hoping I can move out, get like my own place. I'm hoping eventually like I'm hoping like in the next few weeks I can get make this so much better when I get like a certain amount of subscribers off on it. But if this channel really takes off, I might get a PO box accepting fan mail. I might put like fan drawings up on the wall in the back, and I don't know. I'm just planning on doing something with this, just because it's just a boring white wall, and I still have this fish tank here that we're still trying to get rid of. So I'm just gonna try to do something with this set. I'm getting a bigger shelf put up in my room where this one smaller shelf is. So I could put the shelf right here. I could put like a cryptid figure on it or something, like a big cryptid figure, just something to kind of liven this setup, because right now it's just pretty boring. I still have a small map where I still put like the little dots where people who I've talked to, I put their little dots so I know where they're from. I'm from Missouri myself. A cryptid web, yeah, that would be cool. Maybe kind of expand this a bit, make it a cryptid web. Maybe put like some nice bright colored, not like super bright, not like neon yellow bright, but like just some nice poster board here. Just that's a different color just to kind of liven this thing up, because just the white wall, in my opinion, is kind of boring. So there's that. So I'm planning on doing that soon. And like I keep saying too, also be sure to let me know other what other topics you want me to talk about for weeks in the future. Um, like if you want, like I already got the dragons topic, I could do a ghost topic, haunted objects, haunted dolls, which I'm planning on doing too. I'm planning in the future for Halloween doing like reading ghost stories, like do like 7 to 12 a.m. live stream reading scary stories for you guys, taking in fan stories. Yes, dolls. Just because you said not dolls, I'm doing dolls. But I might save dragons for a week when you can call an Umbreon Ranger, because you have a good theory about the dragons that I want people to hear about. So I will save that for a week when you can call in. So next week, I'm still undecided what I want to do. I could do like all the different variations of the Bigfoot, like the Yeti, the Almas, the Monkey Man, a Bukit Tima. I could do all of these. I could do all of those. I could do. Hmm, that actually might be a good topic too. What people see during like sleep paralysis. That's actually kind of cool. I could do that. I could also maybe just do, I could maybe try to do an hour long live stream, maybe just talking about Mothman. I could even do, I could even do cryptids from like certain parts of the world. I could do like, let me see, I could do like cryptids from Texas, cryptids from Missouri, cryptids from Arkansas, cryptids from Iowa, cryptids from California. I could just do like state cryptids. I could do continental cryptids from different continents. I could do all this fun stuff. So I'll just have to figure out what I want to do for next week and the future weeks to come. You're a cryptid from Texas and you exist. Now I know you exist. I'm sending Lauren Coleman, the cryptid hunter, down there right now to meet you. But but I am planning on doing like so much stuff too. So if you guys have any suggestions for my shows, just please let me know. Um, I forgot to put all of my stuff in description, so I'll do that right after I finish this live stream. I'm planning on putting like all my contact info in there again, like I usually do. I forgot to put, so I'm gonna put my Discord, my Tumblr, and my email for this channel in there, so you guys can, so it can be easier for you guys to contact me that way. So don't forget, yeah, my social. Oh god, I social. I thought for a minute, I'm like social media. Yeah, I'll put that in there. Then I'm like, wait a minute. No, not my social security number. I don't even know that offhand. Oh yeah, the Groot slang. I love that thing. And hey, while we're at it, what room I sleep in at night too. I'll put what room I sleep in at night and what I consider to be my valuables and my bank account number too. Just for fun. But yeah, I don't even own a credit card. I don't want to be racked up in credit card debt. But yeah, I'm gonna put all this stuff in the in the link in the description below. Yeah, that's right. I can't even talk tonight. I'll buy a single item. Promise. I don't believe you. You're an internet person. I don't believe you. Oh, Gigahara. Is that what you meant, Anna Marie? The suicide forest? No, okay, no, it's something different. Before I end the stream, I do want to, and I knocked over my stool I was sitting on. There we go. I do want to look up what this thing is, but what you just said though about that made me think of Oyokigahara, the suicide forest in Japan. I could do a whole stream talking about that. You're not charging furry stuff on my credit card, Umbreon Ranger. um, go, oi, kukahori. Oh, okay. Oh, it's like the Mongolian death worm. That's pretty cool. So, I might do, I could do Japanese yokai for a stream. I think that would be really fun, doing Japanese yokai. So I might do Japanese yokai. I could do a whole video talking about the haunted suicide forest in Japan. I could do, I could even do like just kind of like some creepy things too. Like I could even talk about Chernobyl and all of this cool stuff. And yokai would be cool. Yeah, that's going to be on the list. I may consider doing that next week. And so for those of you who don't know, yokai, they're Japanese like monsters, cryptids, spirits, demons. They're like all of these like there's one with an umbrella with one eye that has a tongue sticking out and it hops on one foot. Internet anomalies too. Yeah, that would be cool. Internet anomalies. That would be cool too. I could even talk about cicada. That would be the cicada 3304. I think that's what it's called. Or that would be kind of fun to talk about. I've never explored it, but I know a lot about it. I could talk about the deep web, all that kind of stuff. Whatever you guys want to see on this channel, whatever spooky, scary stuff you guys want to see on this channel, I will definitely cover it at some point. So all that spooky stuff. All right, guys. So with that being said, I'm probably gonna end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you didn't, you can hit that dislike button if you want to. But you might find a Bigfoot crashing through your window at night if you dislike it. But all right, but all the links to my social media are going to be in the link in the description below. Also, guys, hit that bell notification because, like I said, I'm still unsure if I'm going to upload regular videos on this channel, and my upload schedule might be a little different. Cut off the hands of the haters. That's always good. Ooh, that actually gives me a good idea. That reminds me of an ancient artifact too. I could do legendary artifacts from lore. That would be kind of cool. Thank you, Anna Marie. So so after that there's just so much stuff I want to do on this channel, so I don't know what I'm going to do. My streaming schedule might be a little different because I am starting a summer class at my college next week. It doesn't make a difference really, but but I am starting a summer class at my college next week. It's just Mondays and Wednesdays, so I'm still planning on trying to do Fridays, but I might do it different because some people miss out on this on Fridays. So I might try to do it another day. I might try like Saturday one day to see how that works. But my class is anthropology, so I'm hoping that works out really good. So like I said, guys, be sure to turn on bell notifications, hit that like button, subscribe. Share this video with your friends, the cryptic community, all your friends who like spooky shit, all your friends who like weird, awkward 20-year-old people like me, people who might think I'm cute or something. Share that with me. Share that with them. Actually, don't you can share it with me too. I mean, I'll probably rewatch all my videos later at some point. I'm not narcissistic, I swear. But all right, guys, be sure to check out all the links to my social media in the link in the description below. Also, guys, please be sure if you have any suggestions to make this stream better or any suggestions for future stream ideas, be sure to contact me in my social media. So my link for my Tumblr, my not my Twitter. I'm hoping I can get a Twitter for this channel really soon. I don't have one yet. And I will see you all next week. All right, guys. I've been your host, Parker. Stay spooky and have a good week. See you guys.